Melt. If you are meltable, you will melt in this industry. If you're meltable, you've got to work for somebody else. Andy, would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
I mean, with you were talking about your horror stories. He built a real estate business that's on autopilot now. Would you share like 1 minute just some of the crap you had to overcome to be able to build that? And this is just a lesson on getting real with life.
I'm not worth like millions of dollars from this, but I did get into real estate investing when I was 22 years old, and I have built a business where I have to do very little, and I don't have to work for anyone else, and I have a pretty decent lifestyle. I can support my son, and I live in a good neighborhood and all that kind of stuff. But it was just a nightmare. I mean, for one thing, I didn't have anyone to show me the ropes, and I went through periods where I was just way into debt. I've been totally taken advantage of by contractors, bad tenants. I mean, and I started when I was 22, so like in my 20s, I was this young guy like trying to start out and get something going. And I have just been beaten up left and right. I came out way stronger with really good business sense. But the reality is, if I didn't have the kind of debt and the real, like, I have to find a way through this stuff, I probably never would have made it. You know, and there were definitely times in my life where I couldn't sleep at night because I knew, like, what am I doing in bed? I should be out there working. I'm negative $5,000 a month right now. That's hard to be negative $5,000 a month. I mean, you know, it doesn't last very long. You know, I sold a property once. I made like $90,000, and 75 of it was gone once I just caught up on bills. A lot of it had ruined my credit and stuff. That's a tough pill to swallow. And the reality is, you know what? Most people will never do what it takes to have like real success in anything. But to me, this stuff is so much easier than so many things. I mean, it's like a joke. I mean, when I joined with Mark, like the bottom line is that I saw $3,000 as like nothing to get someone that, forget about the business, with his kind of income, doing something like this with this kind of leverage, to work directly with me and just like no holds barred, like share with me everything he knows. I mean, to me, the travel package was free. I mean, I didn't care about it, you know, and I told you, I said, I'll just pay you for your coaching.
Right. And what did I say? No.
Yeah, you said, look, Andy, I've tried coaching before, and the reality is it's a lot more expensive than just buying the package one time. And I said, that makes sense. But business is tough, man. People get eaten up out there. I mean, I've had a couple of really good partners in my real estate business. I had a couple of partners that just didn't make it. I mean, most people will never do what it takes. And this is just...
It's this whole attitude of the unmeltable. And I'm not kidding. Like, emotionally unmeltable. I had a teammate, we'll leave whoever his name is, but really did really well. Don't try to attach him for this or whatever. But really well. And a new teammate called this new teammate and just said, hey, I just want to touch base. You know, I just joined the market, whatever. And the teammate that I took from zero, negative, nothing, and created a lot of income for this, or I co-created. He did it all. But he said, you know what? Mark just got lucky. He just got lucky with a couple of good people. And now, so when I heard that, what could I have done? Well, more important, how did you feel hearing that on my behalf right now? See? And I felt like I got lucky. I guess I'm pretty lucky. I got lucky. I keep getting lucky over and over again. I'm working so hard, I keep getting lucky. But the thing is, what you do is, when you're hit with that kind of emotional thing, you can start spinning that. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I'm just lucky. Maybe I just lucked out. Now we're in a recession, so you can't be that. You can't be thinking lucky anymore because nobody's lucky anymore. And you start spinning your own web of whatever, and you don't make any more money. Well, this was months ago I heard this comment, right? And it hasn't affected anything. The recession apparently has gotten worse. I just had one of my better weeks a few weeks ago. So it's like, but you've got to be able to emotionally deal with lies, deal with teammates abandoning you, deal with just old-fashioned malice. You know, you want to believe that everybody's got the best interest in mind and good, but it's not true. There's people that are just mean, liars. I mean, but you're going to deal with that no matter where you go. So it's not like you get to leave global and then you enter the utopic world where everybody's nice. No, you're going to stay in the same world. You don't get to leave. Yeah, the grass is not. Well, the grass is greener here. I will promise you, the grass is greener. It's a lot greener to me. But all that said, this is just a sidebar on the conviction that you've got to have as an entrepreneur to let nothing stop you, right? And if you let it stop you, you're stoppable. You don't qualify. If your rich uncle who made his money in whatever sees what you're doing and says, you're kind of a scam, and laughs, and that hurts you so bad that you have to stop. You don't qualify for this. Yeah, you just don't count. Like if my mom, my pastor, when I got started, was saying, Mark, and this is a guy that I served. I mean, I loved and served this man, helped build his ministry, a lot of things. And he said, this is off the cameras, but he said, you know, Mark went into a thing where he takes advantage of old people. and he was like telling people that's what Mark did. Now, if that soured me, you think I'd be here buying $200 shirt yesterday, having a good time, taking my wife on a fancy vacation next month? You think any of that would happen if I would have let that kind of thing stew in me? But all it's done is strengthen my will to coach other people past petty crap so they can get what you guys want and what you deserve. See what we're saying? Heavyweight stuff.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
If I can just follow up with J-Rod. It doesn't really matter what's happening with me and J-Rod. Because I'm learning. This is all new to me.
Yeah.
I'm a couple of months in. If it costs me another $500 to learn how to use AdWords better and in the system, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
And it will work. And this is what's keeping me.
Right.
It's that much space between my ears.
But here's the cool thing about Jim. It was after a webinar or something when I said something like, people will spend $500 in a month on AdWords, where somebody else will spend $500 in a week and learn as much, 4 times more than that other person,
Right.
and get themselves going faster than ever. We meet a few days later, and Jim is rocking on AdWords, and he's getting good numbers. And so you're doing. I mean,
like 22% of the clicks were going in.
Yeah.
Marketing or something.
I mean, so he took action, and that whole tirade was not direct. But the idea was, you know, he saw that idea, and he said, well, I'm going for it. And so now you're learning fast. And, you know,
There's a ton of stuff I'm learning.
yeah, and for, you know, we talked about the young guys who are now, say, the old school, older guys in the business who have to unlearn old school business and relearn, you know, the internet. There's a huge market for a 50-plus-year-old to do something. Because I don't know if there's many or any in our industry that are doing much of anything. So there's a huge, and I think there's such a huge, the baby boomer, just a little baby boomer plus, I think they would love to join with their like kind if there was a couple leaders who said, here, I did it, I had the normal job, I left that job, here I am, here's how you do it, and just tapped into the stuff. So there's a huge market for baby boomer age. Huge. So Jim, and how much progress you made in 2 weeks, you know, you could be one of those guys for sure. Glad you're okay, how do you close sales? We've talked about that a lot. What do you say in your autoresponder messages? We've talked about that a lot. How do you keep your leads after they show an interest? Like we said with the autoresponder, email your leads a lot. Use a diversity of information. Prime, here's one of the biggest reasons sales happen is these live events. I made these live events for people to, these live events don't make much money, like in and of themselves, $99 a pop, $150 cup of coffee. I mean, you don't make much money on these events, but I know the events make my teammates money because I know people buy so they can buy before the event to get the ticket for the event. Like that's, Jill, that's what you did. And that's what happens because people, so prime the events, come to them, you're here, so this is again, pre-should require thing. But say, you know, our next live event is in Orlando, I have a free ticket for you, and plug people into the human community because that's what people really want. So, or I don't know. I mean,
East Coast.
let me know where you want it. Well, let me give you an example. Last time I asked where it should be, everyone said San Francisco. It'll be so fun. We'll go sailing. It'll be pretty. So I put it in San Francisco and just get deluges of email. Don't you know we're in a recession? It's so expensive. We had a great time in San Fran. It was sick.